On September 1st, outrage sparked up in South Africa about numerous Nigerians being attacked, while various shops and Nigerian businesses were vandalized. Cars were also burnt during this riot, and at the basic point, this was linked to xenophobia. In this video, we will go deep into understanding what xenophobia is, why it exists, among 10 facts that stand out about the concept. This is Ro from the List channel. Welcome to today's list. For our first fact, we'll look at the origin of the word, xenophobia. What does xenophobia mean? Xeno means strange or foreign, while phobia means fear. So putting the words together into context, it simply means the fear of foreigners. As defined by Banque Claude, xenophobia can be understood as an attitudinal orientation of hostility against non-natives in a given population. What are the potential causes behind these xenophobic attacks? According to Human Science Research Council, it is discovered that some of the attacks are caused mainly due to economic stagnation, which self-explained would mean a period of slow economic growth for a country, increasing rate of unemployment and stiff competition for the few available jobs. Also, in this specific case, the local citizens blame African foreigners for invading their country, taking up their jobs and other social benefits meant for them, such as welfare, housing, and healthcare. This has led to distrust and intolerance towards the migrants. How many people have died from xenophobic attacks? In order to find out how many people these attacks have affected, we need to go back in time, over a decade ago. Xenophobia attacks in South Africa dates far back in history, and there have been various incidents over the years. In 2008, xenophobic violence left 62 people dead, while in 2015, 7 were killed in attacks in Johannesburg and Durban. The recent attacks in September 2019 recorded an estimated number of at least 10 people who were found dead to have lost their lives during the outburst. Which countries are being targeted? The South African 2011 census found that there were 2.2 million immigrants in a country of 52 million in 2011. Indeed, South Africa is a major destination for many African migrants, and more people keep migrating in search of greener pastures despite the violent attacks. Between 2010 and 2017, the immigrant community in South Africa increased from 2 million people to 4 million people. The different African countries being targeted include Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia. Some migrants have lent their voices against the recurring attacks. Charles, a Nigerian living in South Africa for more than 20 years, says, "They are not in South Africa as visitors, but as residents and contributors to society and the economy." So, why are they targeted? As said earlier, some locals in South Africa see African foreigners as rivals, specifically because of intense competition for jobs, inadequate socio-economic benefits, and welfare. African migrants have also been accused of high crime rate, persistent economic problems, the spread of HIV/AIDS, amongst other problems. Hence, business-owning migrants are easy to blame. What kind of jobs are Nigerians doing in South Africa? According to the 2016 Statistics South African Community Survey, it is reported that about 30,000 Nigerians live in South Africa. Furthermore, Nigerians are known to be business savvy, who seek to carve a niche for themselves with different market opportunities. Many Nigerians living in South Africa are shop owners or entrepreneurs dealing in different businesses such as selling cell phones and accessories, hair products, hairstyling, clothing apparel, fast food outlets, etc. A quote from Cosmo Echie, who is the acting president of the Nigerian Community in Western Organization, reads, "While some Nigerian nationals may be involved in illegal activities, many are not." What is the government saying or doing about it? About 700 people were arrested by the South African police during the outburst. The violence, however, ignited an international outcry across the continent and the world at large. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa gave a strong condemnation regarding the attacks. In his words, "No amount of anger and frustration and grievance can justify such acts of wanton destruction and criminality. Equally, there is no justification for the looting and destruction of businesses owned by South Africans." Following the attacks, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari ordered the immediate voluntary evacuation of all Nigerians willing to return home, and around 600 people were repatriated. The president also followed his action by visiting South Africa to meet the South African president, with the aim to discuss the welfare of Nigerians and mend ties between the two countries concerning the economic and political relationships. Talking about repatriation, this brings us to our next point. Air Peace airlifts Nigerians from South Africa free of charge. In the midst of the violent attacks, Air Peace Chairman Chief Allen Oyema, concerned about the safety of Nigerians, volunteered to fly Nigerians from South Africa to Lagos free of charge. The flight was scheduled to bring home more than 600 Nigerians back home, where they truly belong. As the evacuation flight arrived at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, it was an emotional moment for the Air Peace boss. When he stepped into the aircraft to welcome the returnees, they started singing the national anthem with pride, relief, and happiness. This went viral as the video was shared across different social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, and other web pages. "One nation, bound in freedom, peace and unity," they sang, as they waved their placards that read, "Say no to xenophobia." Why can't all Nigerians leave South Africa? Despite the attacks, many Nigerians are not in a hurry to return to their home country. Besides, residing in South Africa for many years have enabled them to integrate with the communities and their culture. While some have gained dual citizenship, some have also gotten married to South Africans with kids. Dexter Mahachi, a researcher at Amari Africa Securities, says Nigerians who are operating businesses in South Africa are favored by the availability of sophisticated infrastructure, electricity, running water, shopping malls that are frequented by people with more disposable income. Hence, they feel better off in South Africa than going back home to Nigeria, where unemployment, political instability, and economic problems are still on the rise. Will the attacks stop? To reduce the risk of xenophobic attacks, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa pledged that early warning mechanisms will be set up to head off future episodes of violence. The police forces also remain on high alert and are closely monitoring hotspots to ensure further violence does not erupt. But really, will the attacks stop? What we can say is, in a country where unemployment keeps increasing and the government is showing slow signs to improve the social welfare for the citizens, this question continues to drive a spear of uncertainty into the hearts of every Nigerian and other immigrants living in the Rainbow Nation. Before I go, I would love to leave you with this one question. Do you think that xenophobic attacks will ever stop? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This has been Ro from the List channel, bringing you the facts in today's list. We will see you in the next video.